Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
Day After Podcast. Joe King, Ryan Neal Wayne talk about Survivor.
Stop it with the high cues.
You knew it was going to happen. You knew I was going to put a high Q somewhere in here.
I know, I know. Oh my gosh, the amount of Coach haikus in this episode.
He went, I'm not going to lie, I was like 95% sure he was going home from the very start of the episode. I'm like, he's going full coach. No, I think he's ascended
Yeah,
and went coach, Super Saiyan coach.
yeah. I just love that he was cracking himself up in the hammock and just being like,
I mean, I do that too when I told you. So like I kind of had that if you remember in Avengers Endgame when they go back in time, the Hulk sees himself destroying a car and stuff, and he goes, I was like, oh gosh, that's how I come off to some people, isn't it?
mhm. Yeah.
But no, it was funny, but at the same time, I'm like, oh no, because I had this deep thing in my chest that this man was about to get eliminated, which I didn't want to happen, but
But he's still
thankfully he
here,
didn't.
baby. He's still here. We still got code. This was the first week where I was watching with my friends, and they just started saying that they hate Coach. Like I thought they kind of liked Coach. They just started being like, I can't stand him. Get him off my screen. Like they did not like Coach this episode.
I will say that I think he, because I think he reverted back to old coach, but then
Yeah.
I think editors may have had a little play in this, but like he decided, no, old coach wasn't enough. Super Saiyan coach, trying to become Super Saiyan 2 coach. We'll see that
Yeah.
in next episode, but like
I
it
loved it.
was very
I
much
think it's
like,
great.
uh, it was great, but I was also worried. He was like, no, I don't want him to go just yet.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want him to go really at all. But I think this video kind of cemented that coach is not winning because while it was very much a coach edit, it was not it
But
very much like if it was anyone else, it would be considered a dodo edit. But
yeah,
because coach has that personality and stuff, it plays off a little bit as a coach edit, but everyone was saying like, "Are we literally letting him run the game?" Stuff like that, and it did not look good.
and people were kind of like they would show people kind of laughing at the haiku, but it felt a little bit like laughing at his like ridiculousness instead of like being in on the joke with Coach. So it did not feel like how like if he wins, this whole thing is edited very, very, very differently. And I've been saying that for at least the last few episodes that Coach is definitely not winning because of just his edits is not a very flattering edit. It is a character edit.
Yes, I think that's I mean, like it's flattering to Coach's character, but like you hit the
Yeah.
nail. It is very much a character edit.
Mhm.
Uh, like because I have nothing. This isn't a dig on Rizzo or anything, but and he even mentioned it was like if you have someone half your age telling you how to play Survivor when you are a four-time player, that's not good because like like he was like, yeah, we got to get the people in the middle, and then well, Rick and you mentioned Christian and stuff is like, dude, some people may not feel like they're tight with you, especially if other people know about the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Uh, Devins, I think is I don't think Devins believes that he's like one of your number one, and then you name drop Christian as like untrustworthy. Devins is sure as fuck gonna tell, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Coach played at a different time. Okay, he kind of he had the dominant alliance in token teams, but ran into the ground because JT, Steven, and Taj basically ran the floor with him, and that's that group. Heroes versus villains. He turns on Boston Rob, gets screwed because he ends up siding with Russell. South Pacific is his best season in a season where everyone kind of went into a cult like behavior, and so that's kind of the only time that Coach has ever had strategic like game really is when people literally just do what Coach wants. and then hope that they get to the end with the coach because he's coach and it's hard for coach to win the game. Like that's the only way that he can really strategically play.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to work on
Wasn't
this kind of season. Like it might work for a vote or two because people are like, "Oh, Dee sounds that's fine. She's a winner." Like, let's get rid of her. Only a couple people really felt close to Dee to fight for her, like Tiffany,
yeah.
even Rizzo, who it seemed like previously had a working relationship with Dee, is like, sure, I'm down for that. So, like, yeah, it can work for maybe a vote or two, but if Coach keeps doing this every boot, it's not going to work out great for him long term.
They will cut it. I feel like if I mean, like, yeah, I feel like he got very lucky because I feel it wasn't just editing. I think his name was being thrown out very seriously because
Yeah,
Emily was planning on flipping on him.
yeah.
Like Christian was like, well, I'm in the middle. Like, yeah. It's like, and then Rizzo was like, is it worth it? It's like, but to kind of circle back to what you were saying about D and Rizzo, is that I do think that because we see earlier in the episode, Emily Flippin tells, asks, do you know who gave you your boomerang idol? To Rizzo. And Rizzo has only told a handful of people and
Mhm.
people he trusts. But Dee told Emily. And then, like, because, like, that's the only logical person in Rizzo's mind that would tell Emily and
Mhm.
hit the net. Like, turns out he hit the target. It was right. And so, and that's like, well, now I don't think I can work with you.
Mhm.
Plus, you are good at comps. Plus, it looks like there are some people that are also wanting to target you too because you went against their alliance. And then also, I really like the Cerise Road to the Wizard of Oz, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, this thing is getting more nicknames than me in an org.
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, I love it. If that's the final three of the season, I'm here for it. I mean,
I prefer I prefer Survivor Challengers. That's their
yeah.
ones, or the Thruple,
We
or
need to stop bringing up challengers with these three. Okay, last week was enough.
it's funny that hey, it wouldn't have crossed my mind, but she said open relationship
Yeah, Paulie.
or polyamorous relationship. I'm like, well, you put that in my brain.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I still don't think Rizzo can win this game, but he is definitely playing a great game. Like he is in a very good position within the game right now. I think no one's really going to be coming after him, even though he has an idol. It still feels like people are not like setting their sights on the new player who they haven't seen. In fact, someone like Suri and Ozzy, some of the more revered players in the game, are like wanting to ride or die with him, which is
I'm sorry, my headphones are
oh
dying, and so like I have to.
all good, all good. Um,
But I wanted to hear what you had to say. Give me one sec as I switch.
okay. We are waiting for Ryan to get it. Oh, now I can't hear him.
All right.
Okay, there it is. Yeah. I was just saying, Rizzo. Oh, now I hear myself, and that sounds awful.
Yeah, it did not. Sorry.
All good, all good.
Thought I had background where it couldn't.
Technical difficulties, everyone. Okay, this is
All right, we're
doing
gonna
great.
try this. Does this work?
Okay, I can't hear myself, so I think that's good.
All right, cool.
Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, Rizzo playing a great game right now, very well positioned. The fact that he's in with Suri and Aussie, some of the more revered players of the game, is great. And the fact that they're willing to ride or die with him at this point, I mean, that's great. Aussie is not someone who's going to go ahead and start flipping a bunch. Suri
No.
is a very loyal player and will only really cut allies at like endgame if it has to like go down that path. Um,
Well, I mean, here's the deal. Suri wins if she gets at the end. It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's not just like not just with how she's playing this game, because she's still playing this individual game pretty well,
mhm.
but she gets to the end. It's like
Oh, 100
it's
percent.
not one, it's like she's never done it before. She's also I don't want to say I don't want to cheapen her win of this game as just a legacy win if she does. But she also like each time she plays, like the only like reason she ever got voted out of Survivor really was because of idle play. Every other time she made it deep into the game, and then there was like either fire making or there was no other choice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if that's the final three, it's a Suri first place, Ozzy second place because he gets some of the honor and loyalty people, and then and then Rizzo I think still gets 0 votes. Like that's the thing is that there's not there. I think there's maybe a couple people who, if he sits at the end, he could potentially win against, but I don't think that they are going to make it to the end of this game. And the only reason I'm even really saying that is just edit wise. There's a couple people here who we just know can't win. So it's like versus guy, I guess, be sitting up against them edit wise, but could be very different there on the island. I truly think he's just going to hopefully get far, get a good edit, get some good gameplay moments and strategic moments to let him be considered like a great of the season. Um, but winning is still off the table, which is unfortunate because right now there are only 6 players left in the game who have not received a goose egg confessional
Uh,
episode.
before we get into that, I will say I don't think I would count him out fully. I do think like you make a lot of great points, but I wouldn't count him out fully. But continue.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Who are
there's
the
the
six?
yeah. So there are 6. So it is Aubrey, Christian, Coach, Emily, Ozzy, and Rizzo. Coach isn't winning the game, so we're down to 5. Um, I don't I mean I you don't want to count out Rizzo. I do. I mean I think we're at 4 potential people right now who can win the game.
Emily,
Emily too.
Emily,
I think we're down to
yeah.
3. I think we're down
I'm
to
like,
3.
we'll talk about Emily in a second because I think sure her so far she hasn't really paid for consequences of telling telling on people and like saying
Yeah.
everything to everything, but and everything to everyone. But I feel like that's mostly because of like what the evidence does is so damning
Yeah.
that it's perceived that way. But there, like the bill will come due on that one.
Mhm.
Uh, so there is that. Aubrey, if she wasn't edited a certain way in the beginning of the game, it would make me think that she would because like what we got episode 1
Mhm.
was she seemed very standoffish, and the only other like portion we got from her was the medevac. Whereas like episode 2, we got a little bit of like survivor stuff and stuff like that. So we did get to see more of her, but the first episode, the first step into the game.
Yeah, what I will say is Aubrey, I think if I am just gonna say, I think if she wins this game, they would make sure to show her in every episode. I think if she doesn't win, I think there's definitely episodes that we did not need to see Aubrey in that pre-merge because she's not going to tribal council. But they made sure to give us a little bit of Aubrey, no matter what, even if it wasn't like that important. They just wanted us to like here's Aubrey a little bit. Like, remember Aubrey? Aubrey's here. She doesn't like Genevieve. Okay, make sure you remember that. Like, they really made sure to keep flashing that. So I do think that that is something to like keep in mind is that the editors made sure it could have been easily skipped.
I'm not writing her off,
Yeah.
but that is one thing that makes me a little lower on the totem pole with her
Mhm.
because like I feel like for me the two front runners are Ozzy and Christian Hibiki,
Mhm.
where I'm like Aubrey might be third on that list, but I have Rizzo as like number 3.
Mhm.
Aubrey would have been, taken third place if it wasn't for that rough start. But I'm like, but I feel like if you say that third, I'm like, I don't necessarily, or if you still think so, like, I'm not going to be like, no, that's dumb, Ryan. Or you say it so, no, I'm not like, no, Joe, that's stupid. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say that because I'm like, I think there is evidence. I
Mhm.
think it's just not as likely in my mind, but only time
Mhm.
will tell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I just remember that one White Lotus promo where there was a purple buff that was higher than the other ones. And you know what, Aubrey can easily, she's that purple buff. Some people say pink, it depends on lighting, I think. Um but I think that there's definitely a lot of cases right now for me to like think Aubrey is the winner, but they're trying to hide it because there's just so many players, so many big characters and personalities they want to make sure are getting shown. Unfortunately, women are still kind of being neglected a lot. But yeah, and yet again, Aubrey wins. I mean, it's it's gonna be kind of like, okay, editors, you got to learn how to edit women better on your television screens. I mean, we've seen it happen where you can do it with like a Savannah, but I guess on this
This,
season they and they went back
this
to
is,
their roots.
and regardless, I mean, like, because like you've had a lot of strong, women winners in past, like recently, like Savannah is one,
Yeah.
though I think narrative went away from her a little bit. Rachel is another one who got a pretty solid
Mhm.
edit as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
think even Rachel though didn't have the most confessionals. It was Sam who was second place, got the most.
no, yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
still, well, I mean,
yeah,
we've talked before, like, just
yeah,
because you have the most confessionals throughout
yeah,
the season doesn't mean you'll necessarily win,
yeah,
especially if you're more of a low key character or contestant as well.
yeah.
However,
I think he
uh,
he had like 15 or 16 more confessional. It was like because we were talking about him and maybe having like one of the highest confessional counts in Survivor.
I would have to like relook at the numbers, but it's
Yeah.
like they do that, and like I
Mhm.
know, like there was the whole video of like ever since 42, they have to make some sort of edit for their winner, or like the
Mhm.
winner edit is there because of the backlash of Erica winning, where it didn't feel
Yeah.
as earned.
Mhm.
Like even Gabler, like you've like I haven't rewatched 43, but the Gabler win edit is there, even though he didn't get as much screen time as like past winners.
He got a lot of screen time. That's another thing that gets I think forgotten is he had like 60 confessionals or something like that in that season. Like he was talking a lot. Um, it's just everyone discounted him. All of his confessionals, everyone just laughed off and just tried to forget about. So he also was someone who got like a lot of content. And that's just been the thing is, and especially now that we got 90 minutes, like they're not going to add more time and then not make sure to have a little bit of something for their winner. I think the only zero confessional person who I can still say Survivor might give it to is Cirie.
Yeah,
Because Cherie's legacy is so strong that she can have a zero conventional episode and the like it's going to still feel good for the fans. Like it's still going to
yeah,
be like, oh my gosh, Cherie got her win. Um,
yeah. I
so
would say that is a fair statement.
yeah, so she's like the one person. Everyone else who has a zero conventional episode though, I am like kind of just saying you're out of winner contention.
Because especially some of these zero, well, I mean, it's not going to be Chrissy, it's not going to be Tiffany.
Yeah.
I think we all pretty much know that.
Yeah.
Devins, I don't see him being targeted right now. I feel like he's
Yeah.
in a good spot, but like,
He
is he getting a
feels like
winning?
this. He's the second in command to Christian. It feels.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's not getting a winner's edit.
mhm,
Jonathan, while still having I think he's having pretty much a decent edit overall.
mhm.
It's like you said, it's like the fact that he didn't get anything one episode and he doesn't have that, he doesn't have the same fan base slash royal or not regalness as Suri,
Yeah.
where it's like she's queen. So like she will like she can take a confessional off if like her tribe doesn't go and stuff. Whereas
Mhm.
like yeah, so
Yeah, and I think a lot of the game savvy players are not voting for Jonathan to win. I do think he can get some of those honor and integrity people, but if he's sitting with at least one of those honor and integrity people at the end, I don't think he wins. So
you know it's tough, and we still have a lot more game to learn because like like we're starting to see how people are interact because like last episode Rizzo and Ozzy were off on a island together. So like they didn't get to interact too much with people. And then also the split tribal and everything where, the Blood Moon, where it was like basically three different tribes. And, so like it's the first like vote where they're starting to play together and like seriously be like, all right, game plan wise, what are we doing? Because yes, this is the first time in history where it was the biggest tribal council ever with 14 contestants. So like there's a lot more things to move around, and I'm not sure what next week holds. It might be something where it's like um it might be the one thing where it's like, oh, everyone shares everything. So if an idol is played on you, so is someone else. If you lose a vote, your partner lose a vote. If you win immunity, if you get voted out, your partner gets voted out.
yeah, it could be that. I mean, I also can easily just see it be a double and someone else goes to fucking exile and it's a 6-6
I
tribal
do
count.
think that Well, I think someone might go to exile because the
Yeah.
episode description says they're going to partner up.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it has something to do with that. I believe they said something will, like Survivor history will be made and stuff, or like, granted, Survivor history can be made, but like, like, yeah, we got three tribals last, but it was still like divided, merge. So like we've seen that before. It's just the number increase. So
Yeah.
it could be another big twist, but like something we've never seen before.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, I can already tell you if it's your voting and your partner goes as well, people are gonna be very pissed about how next week's gonna go, regardless of who goes. Like it's going to have a lot of backlash. So
I thought Survivor didn't, unless it was their winner edit, they didn't care about backlash.
they don't, but they probably should a little bit. Especially when you have this kind of season, they should care about what their fans are thinking and going to react to.
It's literally supposed to be in our hands.
Yeah, yeah, but we didn't vote for most of this. We just got very generic, broad terms and then told that this was our decision.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah,
I don't
no,
even know who Zach Brown was before the
yeah,
promo.
neither do I. I mean, if you're a huge country music person, yeah, you're like, yeah, you're gonna be super stoked, I suppose. But I did not care, and there's just a lot of time that I was seeing someone I don't really care about eating up my Survivor time.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but all right. But when we go to the specifics of this episode, Dee is a little upset with Jonathan for, like going against Camilla and voting her out. And so is Tiffany. Tiffany is like, we finally get some good content from her where she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go guns blazing now. They're gonna wish they got rid of me and stuff. Where it was like, all right, here's the Tiffany, the one where it's like you don't mess around with. This is the Tiffany I wanted to see from episode one.
Yeah,
uh so like we see a little bit of her, and then it was like, unfortunately she was on the outs with D, even in the votes and stuff, so doesn't look too good for her in the near future. At the very
yeah,
least, as she will be an easy vote, and maybe she can be that one. I was like, is it time to go for an easy vote? Like, you can give me wherever. Whereas, like,
yeah,
it's still playable for her, but
yeah.
you know, everyone just decided to side with Coach and Jonathan, which I know some of them were like, should we really defend Coach here?
Yeah, it's not good when your episode one alliance of allies go out in back to back episodes here for Tiffany, because that was essentially the only people that we really saw, her connecting with a little bit with Aubrey, where, she was kind of like letting her know about Genevieve a little bit, but like it's like episode one alliances are very important when they distinguish them because usually that is setting up like things for down the road. And so if you lose your episode one alliances, it can usually be pretty bad if that happens around pre-merge or at the early merge. So
As someone who has lost uh, an alliance member early on, it can be very hard to come back from that or
yeah.
like have like lasted. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's uh it's one of those things where it was a very public one too. Like it felt like there was a lot of drama this episode.
Mm.
And like because like coach was just sitting in the hammock and was like, no, honor integrity. And then he has a entire he it's like he's sitting down the Nerdy Alliance and he was like, yeah, whoever's going to win this season, they're going to have honor and integrity, and like they're all here. It's like that meme where it's like the mom like or it's like the one person talking to the perch on the couch and they're just like,
Yeah.
and then it's like they weren't doing anything.
Yeah, and that's why I thought like Coach probably should have gone. Like they should have tried to rally numbers to get rid of Coach because he feels like he's trying to march the honor integrity people through the game and take out everyone who's not one of those people. Um, and someone like Christian, someone like Rick, they're not like everyone knows they're not in that kind of group, and Rick's being told about it. I mean, yeah, it should be like very clear, like Rick, Christian, Devin, Emily, D, Tiffany. Like they could have easily flipped this on the coach. It was
Yeah.
there for them if they wanted to.
Yeah, I guess they were like, well, if he's still around for one more round or
Mm-hmm.
something, he's always going to be a bigger target than me, and he
Yeah.
takes attention away from me. So there is
Mm-hmm.
that. Whereas D is more of a low key player,
Mm-hmm.
and she's more methodical and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say sometimes when it comes to a person where their intentions are very well known and stuff, that's safer to keep around, even if you're, like even, like that's safer to keep around than someone who's a bit more fluid because the person
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to be keeping, hitting the wall until they break through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're damaging the wall and they're a problem. But the person where you don't know their strategy and stuff like that and what they might try and do, that is a little bit more dangerous. Whereas we can still get the person who's hitting the wall later because all they're going to do is hit the wall.
Yeah. But you never know. You get a couple more split tribal councils because that's gonna. Everyone should know that we're getting a lot of double boots this season moving
Or
forward.
getting at least two more.
Yeah, so you know that there's going to be things like that. If those are happening like really close to each other, Coach suddenly could be at a point where he's with his honorable integrity, and they got numbers, and you are no longer able to get people to flip and take out Coach, and suddenly Coach is now the most powerful person in the game, and you're out of the game because you waited too long because you thought that everyone at some point would be able to take him out. So you can't wait too long.
That is fair. They're still at 13. And I think that's another thing. I'm not like defending decisions. I'm just
Mhm.
rationalizing it.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's another thing too. They're still in the mentality where we still have a ton of people left.
Mhm.
So maybe that played a factor into it. It's like, oh, well, we still have some people, but I think I'm more worried about D winning
Yeah.
immunity
I
than I
think
am
I
coach.
I think the reason why it doesn't go through here is people really are afraid that if coach goes out too early, the fan base are going to be mad because the fan base currently loves Coach. That's kind of become like a thing as time has gone on. People have become more fond of Coach, and he's like a legend. He's a huge figure of Survivor now, and I think they're afraid of him going out too early on the season, and so they're not going. They want to like hold off on taking him out until a little deeper into the season.
That's stupid. You go for the legend.
No, I think that's like the right thing, but I think a lot of people out there want this to be a great season. They want this to be a legendary season, and
I,
the best legendary seasons have iconic players at the end, not the new players who are trying to make a name for themselves.
I will say, yes, there's a reason why All Stars got a little bit of backlash. Like other than the Dominant Alliance and stuff, it was like a lot of players that did very well got targeted really early, and then we got a lot of people who, trying to think, like the two people that had the highest positioning before then were eliminated relatively early in the merge, which was Kathy and Lex.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, and Game
So
Changers is another example where I think a lot of
Game Changer
people
is another one.
were
Um,
very disappointed with how that boot order went
yeah,
throughout it.
it
So
makes sense. It does
yeah,
make sense.
yeah.
However, I think sometimes
You got it. Sometimes there's two ways of thinking in Survivor. There's the player mentality, and then there's the TV mentality. Okay, and I think over time it has shifted a little bit to where the player mentality has mattered more. Actually, of I don't care if this is going to be a good TV or a good season. I just want to play to try to get myself the best chance to win. Um,
you can still be good TV on a bad
but
season.
not necessarily. If you're a bad player, like you're not that great TV wise, like you want to be having skills like this because then it's like okay, let's take out the crazy people and have the actual players making it further. Like that's just typically how that would go. But there was a very clear time in and I'd say the golden era of Survivor where it was like this where it was about the TV moments, and there were one or two people who were really good at playing the game, but that everyone else was trying to be big characters. Everyone wanted to have big TV moments. Everyone wanted to have things that were going to absolutely be making the edits. And I do think a lot of new era players don't think that way. Um, but we do see a lot of, I think, people in like the 30s. I think even some of them are like Christian and Devins. They're thinking about that. They're thinking about how this season is going to be a good season of TV. Um, and they recognize that someone like Coach is just a bigger like net positive as a character on the season than someone like D. Dee's already got her win. If she goes, it's not like the worst thing in the world for like the viewer experience because it's like she wasn't going to win anyways. Coach, on the other
Yeah,
hand, huge personality. Someone that he goes out as this at this spot. There's going to be a lot of people being like worst season of all time.
I will say, it, big example of you chose the best examples, which
Mm-hmm.
was Devins and Christian. Christian even said like pre-season and stuff, like in interviews, he was like, there is some
Yeah.
things that I want to do as player, but it's also like, it's like the Avengers movies. I can say that, right? It's
Yeah.
like the Avengers movies. You want people from all these different like movies and franchises to come together and watch them play. And same thing with like Survivor.
Yeah.
Um, where you want them to have those like moments and stuff like that. So I think some of it plays in there, but ultimately I think you find a balance
Yeah.
because yes, there are some things that you want to do for the lulz and TV. But it's like as long as it doesn't hinder your game, I don't feel keeping coach around one round longer or a couple rounds longer, especially when he's a good shield for you,
Mhm.
isn't as bad as like just getting rid of someone just for the lulz or just because you think it'll be good TV.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was just for the lowest regard to D. I actually think keeping D would have been better for a lot of people because she's a winner with not really any ally. Like her ally is Tiffany, and that's like it. Coach has a lot of people who will back him up and not be willing to write his name anytime soon. So just in terms of like threats, D could have literally been taken out at any round, and everyone would have been like, "Sounds good to me." But because she goes out this early, it's a little dangerous now because now you don't have that like guaranteed. Everyone, let's just do this.
I think it's offense versus defense. Because, like I said, when you know what someone's strategy is, even if they are a threat, you still know what their strategy is. Whereas D, sometimes like, oh, she's on the bottom stuff. All it takes is like two or three more. It takes an Emily, it takes a Christian and Devin to go over there, and then oh, they get numbers and they join Tiffany, and then
Yeah,
whereas coach is like, these are who I'm playing with. Everyone knows it. Let's go.
yeah. I mean, D's never had to play from the bottom. She was on the top her entire season. She
Yes, but
was
we're talking this
yeah,
game though.
yeah. Um, but I'm still saying I think for someone like, especially a Christian, especially like a Rick Devens, who they are also people who at some point a lot of people can just be like, should we just get rid of this guy? I mean, they seem like they're trying to run the show. That they're dangerous players. Like they move up with D going out here in the threat level. Coach staying, like yeah, you can be like, let's go for coach. But there's people that won't be fully on board the way that people would be fully on board with the D. And that's the dangerous part of keeping coach here is you let him get a little bit deeper and it just becomes a tougher and tougher sell every single time.
I get that, but I'm still saying it's still early enough. It's still early enough where they don't have to worry about the four horsemen. Well, actually, three horsemen. Because one of the horses is like, okay, yeah, I'll be a part of you just cuz, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I guess then in that case, like, what if we think about like a different strategy that used to be a thing where instead of going for the big threat of a coach, you go for someone who is more integrated into that group, like you, Jonathan, someone who's going to be good in challenges, and still you're cutting out the chance of coach being safe because that's one less number for him. D's still there as that easy person to take out later in the game, especially if you're having some kind of crazy more doubles and everything. Like she can easily be expelled at certain points in this game. Um, like I think that could have also been a very like good route for someone like Christian, Devins, Emily, like a lot of those people in the middle who essentially should have had like real control of how this went out, ended up kind of just going with a group of people who I don't think their games align at all.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been like
Yeah,
another route they could take.
yeah.
I feel like them getting rid of D, Steve not winning the game, yes. But I don't know. We've said that about a lot of winners beforehand. Um, there is something where it could technically happen again. Not saying that she is or was or anything like that. It was just more so like coach is never going to get blindsided because he's like, no, everyone's listening to me. He's doing well. He's on cloud nine. He's on cloud 10, 11. He's higher up than that. So it's like we can take care of him in a little bit. Let's just take care of D. Now, would it be better or worse, or we don't know until next episode or until who wins the game?
Hmm. Um, Okay, well, let's kind of get to the challenge a little bit.
Wait. We have something before the challenge.
Okay.
We had another journey,
Oh
and
yeah, that's right. I already forgot
maybe
about this because it kind of bored me. I'll be honest.
ouch.
I'm going to be honest. It was not riveting TV.
If you're not a Stephanie fan.
Yeah, it was it almost put me to sleep. But go ahead.
I am a Stephanie fan, and I did enjoy. I was like, all right, she might get something. And then it was we go back to the heroes versus villains, and like we see like, oh, that injury actually did have a lot of repercussions. So now she has to hold her hand up for an hour. Now, I know this is an endurance comp that goes on for a while, but for this one specifically, it's a little hard because like even the slightest movement and stuff does, it just topples over. Uh so she ends up winning despite having to use her left hand, and she got a steal a vote. One thing that was a little interesting was, you obviously have to come up with something when you come back. And she was like, yeah, if you make it past 30 minutes, you at least keep your vote. If you play a little longer, then you can get an advantage. I was like, I got my thing. It's like, it's always one of those things where it's like, you either be honest and say you're just going to burn it next tribal council, or you just tell people you lost your vote.
Mhm.
Either way, Suri will find out because like
Yeah,
Suri was like, no, I know you have something, and then
yeah.
Steph, it took her a minute or two to be like, yeah, I got to steal a vote.
Yeah, I mean, this is very similar to what happened in that show, The Snake, that Suri and Stephanie played together, where Stephanie was the snake, and Suri looked at her, and Stephanie folded and basically gave away the entire episode of the game to Suri. So it's like Suri can just like look at her, and it's just like Stephanie literally doesn't know what to do. Like
Yeah.
she just folds. She just is like, you got me.
Well, it's like she's still a good ally to have. Even like granted, it's nice to. It would have been nice to like, because all right, I will say, even as a Stephanie fan, granted we're in the merge, I still don't know where her allegiances really lie in this game.
Yeah.
Like where does she fit in the grand calculus of Survivor 50?
Yeah, that's
Um,
the big issue because her closest allies are now all out of the game. And so she's kind of just hoping to get by each round.
yeah, and I mean like she could always circle back and like try and join, the polyamorous relationship.
Mhm.
Um, God, it sounds like we're talking about fan fiction.
I know, right?
But like I feel like at the very least, since they do know about it and stuff, and like Sari is like, well, she's not one to close a door. And she'll be like, this could be an option we could have further down the line if we need it. And I feel like Stephanie and I have worked together in the past. We've been on like literally three different TV shows
Mhm.
together.
Yep.
It's funny how that happened. So, like she's someone where I know her well enough. Maybe there's like something there we can use for this game, a
Mhm.
game that started our reality comp careers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I imagine they're going to work together. I also think steal those is one of those like advantages that it is important to like have people in on because it's about getting the right votes in the right situations. And
Yes.
if you're kind of doing it by yourself, it can be hard to get those situations because people will be maybe a little more skittish of like making a close vote on their own and then letting us do it
Yeah.
like people are a little more like let's like secure it and make sure this is happening instead of letting it be
It's
a one vote difference.
yeah, because it is a three vote difference. However, especially if we're looking at the game how it is now, three votes is a lot, but it will not like it will not like save you if you don't have too many people
I
on
mean
your
it's
side.
only really a two vote like swing.
Well, no, because you get two and then it's -1 from the other side.
You get a vote once and then you minus one from the other side,
But yeah, so you have two and they're -1.
but I'm not counting your original vote because that would already be impacted in it. It's about like the new things that are happening by using a steel vote, which is a two vote swing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but in total three.
No, no, you can't
Why are
include the
you
thing that
going the
no,
other?
no, that is not how you that is not how you factor in that.
Anywho, Uh,
Okay, what was your point?
Anywho, it's like, so yeah. At the very least, Suri knows that she told her alliance, and um, she has that in her back pocket to use for the future. Not immediately in the future, but somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
All right. Now we can talk about the challenge. So it was a schoolyard pick, and it was interesting because it was bronze versus brain, basically. It was Jonathor and Christian Hibiki.
Mhm.
And it's the split one where they were like, all right, whoever makes it to the end, do that. You compete in individual. Now, I really did think that the pink tribe was going to win. One, because they had Aubrey on the puzzle, which she did not do, which surprised me.
Yeah.
And then you had Jonathor, who was famous for this challenge of being like, yeah, I'm going to push the boulder out by myself, basically, and
Yeah.
do all this stuff.
Yeah, I'll be honest. So when I saw the team breakdown, I was very confused on Jonathan's team. Like I didn't like I felt like he kind of assumed he was going to solo carry the physical side of the challenges and just kind of went with other people. Um, and I think that that wasn't a great idea. I think that just in general, that team kind of wasn't that well balanced. The other side, I mean, the fact that it had Ozzy and Joe, like essentially the two
Yeah,
other big physical people, makes up for Jonathan alone. So they're able to go through that side just as well. And then obviously having someone like Christian and Emily on the puzzle, I mean, like that's that like they're gonna win. like I literally was just like
yeah,
that's like GG having that like combo there. So um that at least that's how I saw the breakdown was just like I think Jonathan fumbled the bag a little bit. But it is what it is, you know, so you don't always you know, I wish I could have heard more of his strategy for the schoolyard pick. I wish we could see it sometimes. I would have loved for them to show the schoolyard pick and rationality.
yeah. They hardly ever do that.
Yeah, they
Um,
did like back in the day, and they haven't done it in a very long time.
yeah,
And
but
I like I like seeing the rationality. I like to know why people are, you
the
know,
strategy behind it.
hyping up why they're choosing someone or why they're not choosing other people. Like that's I think that's important.
I think it is good content. Because like especially because he emphasized. I think the thing is he emphasized the schoolyard pick, and then it didn't make an edit.
Yeah.
Um,
This is like the
but yeah,
third time in New Era that they've done that. It's like it's just like a thing now where they like want to let us know a schoolyard pick is happening, but they don't really want us to like see it. They just want it to like to them a schoolyard pick is the equivalent of randomness, which is not true. That I think the schoolyard pick is significantly better than randomly picking a color from rock from a bag and then saying that's
I
your team.
agree. I
So
agree. Um, but yeah. So this one was also for Chinese takeout and brownies.
yeah, weird
So yeah,
combo.
I mean, both are really good. So, but like, I think both are really good. And I was like, all right, yeah. I thought they were going to do like a traditional Chinese dessert with how they were talking, but I think brownies works too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's
I won't say
just
no to free brownies.
yeah. I mean, even the cast was like, "Oh, okay," like they like, which is not a great reaction. Like, it cool. It's brownies are great, but
I
it
think
was
it was because he built it up too.
yeah,
It was like, and something that really goes well with Chinese food.
yeah,
And then it was like,
right.
oh, okay, but yeah, I mean, brownies are really nice. I thought it would be more on theme, but
Yeah,
I'll take brownies.
it wasn't a cohesive reward, I'd say.
Yes. But yeah, so the blue team won, and then it was down to the one the the
Boom
the
operator.
boom operator challenge,
I'm glad he
which
got a shout out.
I have. It's funny. Someone at Darman I work with who runs audio, like we ran into each other Tuesday night. He's like, we need to talk about Survivor, and so I'm glad. One of the things, like, so I'm glad he was like, oh, he's a boom operator that does love Survivor. So I'm pretty sure he did enjoy this challenge. But
I always think about boom operators when I see this challenge because we've seen this challenge or this iteration of the challenge like multiple times, and I
Yeah,
always have that thought because we've been on so many like film sets and everything, and
yeah,
I've worked a boom on some sets as well, and it sucks. I hate it
yeah.
so much.
It's not great. There's so much you're balancing, and then you have to make sure it's not in the shot, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, this one I was like, all right, it could be D or it could be Ozzy. I feel like those were the two front runners in my brain for
Mhm.
how things were like divided.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, at the end it was Ozzy. Ozzy finally reclaimed his challenge beast. Or not, well, one win doesn't make a challenge beast, but he finally
Mhm.
got a win under his belt for this season. And
Mhm.
I just saw the life come back into him where it's like, I'm back, baby.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
he knows he can still hang because I think last week the challenge was a little more, or 2 weeks ago I forgot what it was, where he was actually facing Jonathan and Joe. He felt a little bit out of it, but this, yeah, he was able to prove that he was able to hang here.
yeah. Um, which another thing that was brought up, it was like if we're talking about career individual immunity wins, he is two away from breaking the record.
Mhm.
Um, currently held by Boston Rob.
Yeah,
The fun thing is or the fun fact about that is that neither of them have been on the same season,
yeah,
and both of them are five-time players, which is like, I guess statistically likely to happen, but especially because they're both like older school like contestants. It was like
mhm.
it's weird that it's never happened before. I mean,
Yeah.
they've always just kind of like missed each other whenever
Yeah,
they were available.
even they both had a captain season 22, 23. Like
Yeah,
they were just like always hanging around each other. But yeah, I think it's pretty possible for Ozzy to break that record.
100%.
The way he's been edited makes me not think he's going home anytime soon. um and if he is in the game at final six or something around there, I mean, like it's possible that he gets those wins
Steamrolls.
in the meantime. So I think it's very doable for him.
Yeah, I agree. And I know, like in a season like Survivor 50, we do want to see Survivor history, but one of the things that are really impressive is when records are broken.
Mhm.
Because it's like, oh, we haven't really seen that before. Um,
Yep.
so yeah. It's one of the few records that I think that are on the table. Challenge wins per season is one of them. Uh, most I think it was like most casts against a single player within a single season, though that's trickier to maneuver, but it's still one up for play.
Mhm.
No one can beat most career days, with it being 26.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are some of the ones where it's the other one, though I think it's extremely hard. Most votes to win a game. No, actually, it's not because of Exile or Edge of Extinction.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Enter Extinction fucks up a lot of that kind of stuff when whole
Yeah,
cast can basically vote. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no. I hope I think I'm enjoying Ozzy more this season than I think I've enjoyed him in any of his prior seasons, to be
I
honest.
agree. I agree.
So
He's, and I say this with all the love because I'm a coach fan. He had the growth
mhm,
and he has maintained the growth.
mhm,
Yeah, he had one episode where he was very upset with like Christian stuff, but he moved past it. So like the irony is of this rivalry, Ozzy is the one who came in and was like, yeah, I have grown. I have learned a lot in my past, like since last I've been on Survivor. I've lived more life, et cetera, et cetera. Where Coach has also lived a lot more of life, done all this stuff. And then he went back to old Coach and then digivolved into,
yeah.
yeah, but
Okay.
yes.
Let's see. So yeah, Ozzy wins. feel like we already talked a lot about like the tribal council aftermath, so I don't know if we need to go too much detail into all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think. I mean, do you have anything else that you can really think of that you want to talk about here? Because I'm trying to think. I feel like we covered a lot of like how everything broke down. So
Well, the other big thing this episode, or I wouldn't say it was a big thing, it was a small detail that they touched on a few times, was Aubrey's idol.
yeah,
Where, like it was like, oh, it's a scarlet letter. It's not actually like an idol anymore. So like it made sense for her not to play it last round because it's like, well, it's pretty much Genevieve. Now, unless Genevieve's shot in the dark actually works, there's really no need for me to play it. And especially if it's like, oh, I trust y'all. But she did get some heat and then she lied about it terribly. It was like, oh, I forgot. It was like, you had that, you had your hand on it. And then,
yeah,
Christian was looking at you like,
yeah. You can't say that you forgot to play your idol. Like that's just not like
that's not how that works.
yeah, I know. Like just be honest at that point and say, hey, I knew I wasn't going to vote. I'm going to use it this time instead. Like
So she did burn it.
yeah.
Do note that Rizzo, whose idol is now public, because once Emily knows, everyone knows.
Mhm.
Um, he still kept it around, but Rizzo's still in a pretty solid spot. He might have to play it next. I don't know. It really depends on how things go.
Yeah,
But
it is one of those things where it's like, wow, Aubrey had to burn it, but yeah, why aren't we looking at Rizzo or Ozzy's idol? Like, why aren't we also saying that they need to
well,
be
Ozzy
burned?
had individual immunity, so
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah,
have to burn it.
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like it's one of those
No, I
things, like
100%
like
agree. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
yeah, yeah, like moving forward, it's just going to be like Aubrey should definitely be kind of saying like, so we doing this, or was that just like you just didn't want me to have an idol?
And it was like, no, I feel like listen, if you're playing a game and someone has a public idol, even if they're your ally, it's like you want them to play it.
Yeah,
Because
and
yeah,
the boomerang idol is dead because either of them get voted out with an idol. It's going to Genevieve on Ponderosa. It's going nowhere.
the biggest fumble of a because I still stand by they should have had a special idol on one of the journeys, which was the boomerang idol. It
Yeah,
shouldn't have been the tribes,
one hundred
each
percent.
tribe idol. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think it was
it
an
was a terrible,
enormous
terrible idol.
blunder.
100%. I mean, it's just like you're hoping for something to like work that is so like the chances really are small that like
Exactly.
their like dream scenario happens where someone gets voted out with an idol in their pocket and it goes to someone else still in the game. Like it's so small and it's impossible to predict. As a player, you can't like it's not like guess who's going to win the next immunity challenge because that you can kind of like predict and be like, well, these people are really good in challenges. Like you can kind of do that. You can't predict who's just not going to play an idol and go home.
Especially when we're talking like these were the tribal idols, where it was on
Mhm,
each individual tribe. If
mhm.
they were all found before the tribe swap,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know what the tribe dynamics are. They can make an educated guess, but still, it's
Mhm,
like you don't know who's out there and who's bonding with who.
mhm.
You so it's like yeah. I'd say Genevieve had a bit more of an idea when she found it on the Callow tribe, but it's still like very small difference where it was like I mean like yeah she knew Rizzo from the last one and like I guess she can make a thing where it's like yeah Rizzo seems likely but still
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, at least that idol is essentially dead and it's just regular idols now. But yeah, I just think that you need to reward people who find it and not reward the people who get given it.
just
But
have yeah
yeah, like I don't know. That's just how I think Survivor should be played, and producers of the season seem to disagree.
yeah all right so yep D goes out I will say there was a little cheekiness in the edits
Mhm.
where usually they will show the votes of everyone getting votes. They didn't show one for D, and
Mhm.
that made me. I was like, wait, what? They showed one for Coach. They showed one for Tiffany, which Coach, after making a hissy fit of wanting to vote for specifically vote for D, he was like, "All right, I'll bite the bullet. I'll vote for Tiffany." I was like, "Oh wait, is he actually getting blindsided here?" So I will say,
Yeah.
props to you. I will give you that, editors. You made
Mhm.
Ryan worry.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, Dee tried to kind of also create some chaos, some confusion at Tribal Council by whispering, but this definitely felt like the most premeditated, pre-planned live Tribal Council I've ever seen. Like Jeff tried to be like, "Whoa, look at this! It's a big moment," but it like we all kind of knew that she was going to do this, and no one
Also, it's like,
no one is like actually freaking out. They're all kind of just like. Okay.
what else is she going to be saying?
Yeah.
Like, like, what else are you going to be saying? Usually, if you offer up
Yeah.
another name out of live tribal, I feel like it's not really going to hit too well, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, she like went to people and be like, I got the numbers for coach. And it's like, well, if you think you got the numbers for coach, you wouldn't be doing that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was one last final plea, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay. Anything else before we get into confessional counts?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Take it away.
Oh, I want to see if I can make a haiku out of it. Confessional count, where screen time matters the mostest.
Keep going.
That was cringe. I'm bad.
You could have just said, I know instead of
That
I'm
was
bad.
cringe. I know. But I bad is, I guess, more comedic. I don't know, but yes.
Yeah, okay. Here we are into confessional count. So D goes out of this season with 18 confessionals. Uh, Most of that happening in this episode and last episode. Um,
Makes sense.
so yeah, there's that little spike of content before going home. Um, okay, so most confessionals is still Ozzy. He's at 45 confessionals right now.
Good job. Good job.
Christian is number two at 42 confessionals.
Yeah, it was a little light on him this episode, I will say.
Yeah, he only got two confessionals, so he took a little more of a back seat this time.
Yeah.
We got a new third placer though. Big skyrocket jump here for the Riz God, up
Yeah,
to
I was about to say
28 confessionals.
he's at 28.
28.
All right. He just needs to survive a little more, then he can pass the Banu bar.
Exactly. He's getting there. And then just one confessional below Rizzo, we got Rick Devins at 27.
All
Um,
right.
And then it looks like we got a tie here at 25 confessionals between a coach and Emily Flippin.
Makes sense. I know this was a big episode for Coach because they gave him like all the content. It was like a
Yeah,
lot, a lot.
he got 9 confessionals this episode.
So yeah,
So,
he's
so
getting his screen time now.
yes, 100%. Okay, next up, it looks like we got Stephanie at 20 confessionals.
This one was a little big for her because of
The
the
journey.
journey.
Yep. After Stephanie, we got Aubrey at 19 confessionals and Suri at 19 confessionals.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then let's see. Next up, we got Jonathan at 18 confessionals.
Makes sense.
So yeah, just a little bit of screen time there. And then just want to make sure this is right. So yeah, I think the next person here is Joe at 14 confessionals.
How many goose eggs has he had? Because I know he's had at least one.
Joe, this was the first goose egg he's ever had.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
I was right.
so he's out of of the contention now. I mean, we already knew that he was not being edited very well. I mean, he was being rocked in a hammock by Christian at one point, like,
Yeah,
and
the
he
one episode where was a pivotal character, he did not get a great edit.
No, no, not at all. Um, okay, and then next up we got Tiffany at 11 confessionals. She's
All
in double
right.
digits.
Yes. Well, because like they were like, you know what? Tiffany is actually really entertaining and she
Yeah,
has things to say about this season. All right, we should probably give her some more content.
yeah, yeah. But remember when those first 5 episodes when she had two confessionals?
I remember when Zach Brown had more confessionals than her for the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then lastly, at the bottom, we have Chrissy at 8 confessionals, still in single digits.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bad edit. I mean, she's going on social media too and complaining about the edit. So, um,
The only reason I wouldn't was because I don't want to burn the bridge, but I would be pretty pissed too if I
yeah,
went on
I
Survivor.
mean,
And
I think if you come to an All-Star season and you're not getting edited, you're assuming that they don't want you to come back.
no,
So I think you can kind of be a little mad.
yeah, uh, yeah,
Because, like, I
but
mean, you can't even say like, she only
well,
got 8 confessionals because she's one of the first few people out of the game. Like, she made it to the jury. There's clearly a game that she's playing and is doing stuff, but we're just not going to see this
I
until
feel,
probably her
yeah,
boot episode.
yeah, I think that's accurate. All right, so MVP and LVP for me, it's pretty cut and dry. I have to say his game tanked so badly. I have to give LVP to Coach. It's just I saw it. I'm just like in real time. I'm just like, no, okay, this is funny, but please stop. Please stop. I think it was very much damaging for the rest of the game.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I can't even think of anyone else to give LVP to either. Because, like, there's definitely people who I think should have made a move against Coach, but I'm not going to just say here's an LVP because this is what you should have done. So yeah, I'm gonna also go ahead and give it to Coach.
All right. MVP, I'm going to give to Riz God because I feel like he's well positioned in here. He knows a
Mhm.
lot of the information that's going around, and he had a bit of a it's funny because like early, like he is on coach's side for so at the very least he's getting intel that he can also share with his alliance. He also took care of a problem which was like D where oh I can't trust D anymore. She knows
Mhm.
I can't trust her anymore. Yeah, this could be a little trickier down the line. So I am going to give it to Risk God.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to one of the other Poly three, and I'm going to give it to Ozzy.
It makes sense.
He wins immunity. He's getting that much closer. I think this move is makes more sense to Ozzy, because he is kind of an honor integrity person, but also he is working with a lot of people in the middle. So I think he's able to still make a swing towards either side. Whereas I think like people like Christian Devons, they need to take out some of those honor integrity people as quick as possible. I think Ozzy can work both sides.
I think you make a solid point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Well, I think
we
that
even
does
talked
it.
about what might happen next episode. So
Yeah, exactly. What are your feelings on the season thus far? Like
uh
overall, like big picture.
big picture, there is a lot going on. And sometimes that does make the narrative a little weird. I'm still enjoying the season. Will I think it's a top 10 season? No.
It's not honestly.
However, I will say this episode was a lot of fun. And it
Mhm.
was something where, all right, it was, like, oh, there was like, oh, is it going to be D? Is it going to be coach? And I feel like, like certain like tribals we saw in the past, it was like, oh, it's going to be pretty straightforward who goes home here because of A, B, and C.
Mhm.
Especially like in hindsight, me looking back, I was like, yeah. But like this one, there was a little. mystery there. And then plus it's all of them voting together. So I feel like this was a positive episode. So I think trajectory and everything moving forward, it will be better. But right
Yeah,
now, I don't think top 10 season.
yeah, I thought the first two episodes were like really good. Like those first two episodes made me think, oh, we might be in for like an all-time classic Survivor season. Then like yeah, episode three I thought was like fine. Wasn't like mad about it. I was like, okay, let's just kind of keep going. And then the Zach Brown episode happened, and I think that kind of soured a lot of tastes in everyone's mouths. And then episode five was fine, it was double boots, it was like okay, got a little bit some with Charlie. And then the blood moon happened, and then I think yet again, similar to the Zach Brown incident, it kind of like soured a lot of tastes in people's mouths of just how everything went down. Um, and now we're kind of going back up, and I'm just like, man, based off of how it's been going recently, it's like bad thing, slightly better, bad thing, slightly better. So I'm like, are we now about to get a bad thing next week? I hope
We'll
not.
see. We'll see. I mean, I still feel I'm positive on the season.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be like, no, best
I
season ever or
I think
anything.
when
But
the cast is allowed to be the cast, it's great. But the thing is that they're not being allowed to be the cast on certain episodes. They're being force fed a lot of bullshit and just ways that just sort of like randomness, which just takes me out of the game.
that's fair. We still have
Yeah,
whatever's happening next episode. We still have Mr. Beast and
yeah,
we still have Jimmy Fallon. So
yeah,
I think that's whatever the merge idol is, that's going to be the Jimmy Fallon idol.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we still got to figure out how Christian's fate in the game is decided by Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for now. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And we will see you all in the next one.
Peace out, subscribers. That already fucked up the syllables.
Yeah, good job. Again, idiot.